Argumentative text can be very similar to what is called a debate. A debate is when you're trying to persuade someone to think or feel the way that you think or feel, which is the same thing the author is trying to do in an argumentative text. The author's purpose is to persuade you. And so we are going to watch this brain pop, and then we're going to try out the quiz afterwards.
Is there anyone worthy of helping me, the finest debater in school history, practice for next week's championship? That's a rhetorical question, Moby. I know there's no one. Hello, brother. Moby, you fiend. Dear Tim and Moby. Proceed, sir. Dear Tim and Moby. My school is starting a debate team. Should I join? What's the point of a debate? From Chelsea. The point is to win, Chelsea. Win. My esteemed colleague is technically correct, but there's a deeper purpose too. A debate is basically an argument with rules. That makes it the perfect forum for practicing rhetoric, the art of effective communication. It's how we persuade others to see things our way. Well, Moby. In most debates, two teams or individuals take opposing sides of an argument. Often, the subject is revealed right at the beginning, so you have to think on your feet. Here, if I'm arguing for, I need to explain why cloning is good. So I might say, cloning crops can end hunger by providing the world with an unlimited food supply. But I need to support my reasons with facts and examples. In other words, I have to use logic to build an argument. So I might add, if one potato plant produces gigantic potatoes, I can clone it and have a whole field of them. Come on, ever heard of a little thing called genetic diversity? If all potatoes were cloned from the same plant, a single disease could wipe them all out in one shot. A fine rebuttal. But no matter how strong your logic, huffing and puffing is no way to debate. It doesn't strengthen the argument, and your negative attitude might turn off the audience. What do you know? You're just a silly clone. Name-calling. Ad hominem attacks are another big no-no. Stick to criticizing your opponent's argument, not your opponent. Fine, I'm listening. What else do you recommend? Well, making solid arguments isn't enough. Charm and good public speaking skills go a long way. Stand up straight, make eye contact, speak loudly and clearly, and try not to fidget. Your audience is more likely to agree with someone who's competent and confident. You can also use rhetorical devices, language tricks that make the arguments more eloquent. I won't resort to tricks to win the day. I will prove that cloning is dangerous, that cloning is untested, and that cloning must be kept in the laboratory. Well done. Repetition is a rhetorical device that can drive your point home in a memorable way. Cloning is the greatest threat to civilization since the atom bomb. That's hyperbole, the use of exaggeration for dramatic effect. That's it, I give up. Oh, don't do that, Tim. Can the school afford to lose its star debater? That was a rhetorical question. Since the answer is implied in the question itself, it can make your point more persuasive. You know what? All these fancy tricks don't change the fact that cloning messes with powerful forces we don't understand. There can be unforeseen and dangerous consequences. I must say, I'm impressed. You've just demonstrated a classic debate strategy, appealing to emotion. Creating an emotional reaction in your audience can be an effective way to win them over. But it can also be a cheap way to cover up the lack of a good argument. That's why it's important to listen carefully to your opponent. Does their argument make sense, or merely tug on your heartstrings? So, you put a good scare into Moby, but where's your evidence? Well, I The fact is, farmers have been practicing a simple form of cloning for thousands of years. When they see traits they like, they take a cutting and plant it somewhere else. That's cloning, and we're all still here. Yes! I am my own worst enemy.
Let's try out the quiz. We'll do, I think it's review. I believe this is the one that will mark off the answers if it is wrong, instead of just giving us the answer. All right, number 1. What distinguishes a debate from a regular argument? A, debates are longer. B, debates involve more people. C, debates have no clear winner. Or D, debates have rules. If your answer is D, you are correct. Number 2, when you use rhetoric, your main goal is A, conflict, B, competition, C, persuasion, D, exploration. If your answer is C, the author is trying to persuade you, you are correct. Number 3, which of the following questions would make the best debate prompt? A, what are some of the most popular renewable fuels? B, should the United States drill for oil in Alaska? C, how have fossil fuels helped America's economy? Or D, where was oil first discovered in U.S. territory? So which one of these would the author try to persuade you to view their views, think what they think, feel how they feel? If your answer is B, should the United States drill for oil in Alaska, you are correct. Some people may think yes, some people may think no. Number 4, what's wrong with the following argument against cloning? Cloning is the most dangerous practice scientists have ever devised. A, it doesn't make a clear stance on the issue. B, it's supported by too many examples. C, it actually supports cloning. Or D, it doesn't use facts for support. If your answer is D, you are correct. We want to back it up with facts, supporting details. Number 5, which of these is a synonym for rebuttal? Synonym means the same. So what is the word that means the same as rebuttal? A, refutation. B, retraction. C, recommendation. Or D, reprimand. If your answer is A, refutation, you are correct. Number 6, which speaker posture and demeanor is most appropriate for a debate? Which this doesn't really have anything to do with argumentative text, but again, this video focuses a little bit more on debate. So which one would be the correct way to stand and look in a debate? A is not our answer because he has angry eyebrows. B is not our answer because he looks aggressive. And D is not our answer because he looks scared. Our answer is C. Number 7, in the term rhetorical device, the word device means A, plan, B, insignia, C, design, D, technique. If your answer is B, you are correct. Number 8, each of the following is definitely an example of hyperbole, except, so we're looking for which one is not a hyperbole. A, I've been waiting here forever. B, I've never seen a more beautiful sunset. C, I'm so hungry I can eat a cow. Or D, I'm a million times stronger than you. So I know this one seems like it could be a hyperbole because it's saying I have never seen a more beautiful sunset. So this one isn't really a good example, but the rest of these are just extreme. Forever, you weren't literally waiting there forever. You can't actually eat a cow and you're not that hungry. And a million times stronger is impossible. So just doing process of elimination, B is our best answer choice. Number 9, what is the main purpose of a rhetorical question? A, to clarify the topic of a debate. B, to gather evidence in support of a reason. C, to make an argument more convincing. Or D, to rebut an existing argument. If your answer is C, you are correct. And number 10, you are arguing against the use of fossil fuels. Which of the following statements might appeal to the audience's sense of sympathy? A, I want my children and grandchildren to grow up in a world that isn't polluted. B, 100 years ago, nobody had to worry about things like global warming and acid rain. C, in a few years, China will be burning far more fossil fuels than the United States. Or D, global warming. This last winter was the coldest one I can remember. So which one is appealing to the audience sense of sympathy? The correct answer here is A. All right. Moving right along. You are now going to read an argumentative text about video games. So whether you are for or against video games, you can choose a side in this argumentative text. After you have read this argumentative text, you are going to answer some questions at the end. First question is, which side do you agree with? Next, what are 3 supporting details that the author used to support video games? The next slide says, what are 3 supporting details that the author used to go against playing video games? And finally, what is the author's purpose of this text? If you have any questions or need help with this, please send me a message and let me know.